Shocking data courtesy of Realtor.com. Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Buckle up, strap in. We got a hard hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. Let's jump back on the real estate merry-go-round and examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly. No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look. Between the economic cracks, we got some cracks to look through today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So this should be a fun one. I'm kind of excited to bring you this report. Today we're going to look at a recent article from Realtor.com. It's not pretty. We're going to jump over and take a look at a current listing here in America. It's not pretty. And this is really just everything we've forecasted leading up until this point. That the biggest artificially induced with no organic growth real estate bubble might not be able to sustain itself. I know many people drank the economic Kool-Aid and thought that somehow this time was different. The only thing that's different this time is worse. Bigger bubble, bigger blowback. We had the biggest bubble ever witnessed in human history. Anybody saying no crash risk here? Run, don't walk. Run as fast as you can. It's always going to come with some degree of crash risk. Now, the good news or the bad, depending on how you look at it, there will be bailouts. Our first bailout is actually already about to be initiated. In fact, I believe it already is. Interest rate cuts. Interest rate cuts are just a disguised bailout. If the market was that healthy, they wouldn't need to cut rates. They're trying to do whatever they can to appease to the masses and see if we can get affordability of homes back in place. It doesn't matter. The prices went up, and what goes up typically must come down. People can no longer afford homes at any price. I don't care if you give them 0% interest, they're tapped out. So we got big issues. And some of the people that have the biggest issues, the builders. The builders overbuilt. And I've reported on this many times. What builders do is they get funding, and then they start building their phases of construction. And right now, a lot of these developments, when they got their funding, was during the euphoria. So their projected earnings was all going up, but now it's reversing course. They're fire selling homes. Teaser rates are back, just like 2008. Introductory first year at 3.99% interest rate, and then it balloons on you in a year. Even back in 2008, the teaser rates that we had were like a 3-year fixed or a 5-year fixed or a 1 year fixed rate. Oh my, that's just, why would you take that? And I'll tell you what they're doing. I'm going to tell you what they're doing right now. If I was a betting man, which I'm not, calculated risk, of course, but never gamble more than you're willing to lose. And friends, this is what happened. This became a casino climate, all the asset classes, but especially the U.S. housing market. What they're saying to people is, hey, listen, we can get you this. The Fed's going to cut rates. So by the time your second year kicks in, we'll be able to refinance you into a lower rate. Nobody can guarantee that. And even if it was the case, who can guarantee you're going to be able to refinance them back into the teaser rate? You can't. You won't. It's not going to happen. So we'll do our best to put a Band-Aid on a shotgun blast with this housing market. And I love real estate. Real estate is local. All areas will behave differently. Some will be the last to get hit. Some will be the first to rebound. But everybody gets touched in a deep cycle housing market crash. It's just the way it is. But it will spread all over. And we're going to see today some of the areas that are already displaying crash risk and taking massive haircuts. And here's the challenge. These builders, like I said, when they get funding to build these developments, there's usually 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 phases of construction, and they're trying to finish out these phases of construction. But if you bought in phase 1 during 2021, 22, and bought at the height of the market, you're watching now phase 4 buyers today getting the same house for less money with a massive amount of concessions, upgrades, interest rate cuts, whatever. You might have got a better interest rate, but it doesn't matter because they're dragging the price of your house down by selling them cheaper. It's getting crazy out there. But today, to drive our point home, let's jump over and take a look at what Realtor.com is having to report on now. They're forced to, after spreading rainbows and sunshine. And we'll also hop over to one of the cities that's in trouble and take a look at a current listing and see what's going on there. Then we'll meet back here and wrap this one up. Let's get started. All right, our article comes from Realtor.com. Cities where new home prices are falling fast. Prices for newly built homes fell in nearly a third of major U.S. cities over the past year as builders ramped up concessions and focused on smaller floor plans in the face of a weak demand. At the metro level, new home prices are falling fast in Little Rock, Arkansas, where the $321,520 median list price is down 15.6% from a year ago. Following Little Rock, the markets with the biggest annual price drops for new construction were Austin, Texas, Wichita, Kansas, Jacksonville, Florida, and Cape Coral, Florida. Even with the recent slowdowns in starts and permits, builders continue to deliver new homes to the market at a healthy pace. In many areas, these homes are not only available, they also offer better value compared to existing home inventories. As we can see here from this crash map, the downturn has clearly started. All told, list prices for new homes are falling annually in 29 out of the top 100 metro areas by population. Generally, markets with falling prices tended to be located in the South and the West, where inventory has expanded dramatically and buyer competition for homes is less fierce. However, several major cities in the Midwest and Northeast did see falling new home prices, including Chicago, Cleveland, and Philadelphia. All right, buckle up, strap in, roll up your windows, and lock your doors. We're heading over to Little Rock, Arkansas to take a look at a current listing. Let's bring up today's crash map. Everything on your screen is, in fact, going through the kiss of death. Stuck on the market, chasing the market, going through price reductions. Let's tour today's home, and what do we see first? You guessed it, we're sucking air, unoccupied, no owner, no tenant, no nothing. We need to get this thing sold and get it sold quick. Unfortunately, it doesn't show that great either. Let's go ahead and dig a little deeper. Property sits stuck on the market at $195,000 after suffering its most recent $10,000 price cut for this 4-bedroom, 4-bath, over 2,000 square foot home. Let's read between the lines and look between the cracks. And what does it start with? Terrific remodeling opportunity located in a desirable gated community of Otter Creek. Unfortunately, nobody wants to buy a remodel opportunity, something that looks tired and dated when there's brand new homes for the same price. But wait, there's more. If we were silly enough to give them their stuck on the market price of $195,000 with the standard amount down at today's interest rate, our approximate cost to carry would be $1,183. Unfortunately, I don't see anybody coming in and swooping this thing up at that price, even though they could probably rent it out for close to that payment. For some reason, buyers are just stuck on the sidelines and not interested in this house. But wait, there's more. Is claiming a strong offer would be $185,000 for this property, and they're saying you'd have an over 90% chance of the winning offer. Zillow, go ahead and remove this whole business about the winning offer. Those times have come and gone. Nobody's winning anything anymore. This property's stuck on the market, chasing the market. Clearly, we have no offers. But wait, let's keep looking. As we can see, this lines up with the Realtor.com article we just read. They've gone down 16% in the last 2 years. With a mid-range value of $192,400, this property is priced still after their most recent price cut above its mid-range value. That's not going to get it done. As we can see here, it's not looking good. We've been listed and unlisted multiple times. This property is just stuck on the market. There's only one thing that's going to get this thing sold, and that's price. And clearly our sellers don't realize that yet. These are the waters we're now, in fact, swimming in. Let's jump back to the studio and wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back, and there you go. So the first thing is the builders are in trouble. But what's that also doing? The house we looked at today was an existing home. Now, on one hand, before I get into that, I like existing homes over brand new homes. If you're looking at homes, I would like a newer home, but anything that was built prior to the crisis. Because you see, anything that was built during the crisis, like these builders are dealing with right now, every one of their sales, what are they? If you've been watching the show, you know what I'm about to say. They're bubble buyers. They all bought in the bubble. All your neighbors bought at the height of the biggest real estate bubble ever witnessed in human history. So what happens if and when it reverses course. These are the neighborhoods that go upside down in tidal waves first. It'll be a foreclosure festival going on there. And we already see, I've driven through new developments and seen for sale signs in phase one purchasers. When the developer's still trying to build out the development, people are already putting up their homes for sale before these developments are even finished. But here's the thing. When we pull the comps, we have to include new builds and existing homes. And so the house we looked at today, it was an existing neighborhood, which on one hand is good because their neighbors didn't buy at the height of the biggest bubble ever witnessed in human history. They are people that bought throughout the years. So when those people start losing their homes, they're sparse and sporadic and not every house on the street. That's good on one reason, but most of these developers, they build what's called the model home. I call them FOMO factories, where you tour in, you fall in love with furnishings and finishes and color schemes that were designed under a think tank, fall in love with some model home that's not even the actual home you're getting, the one on the back 40. That's what's going on right now. But this home that we looked at today, it communicated exactly what Realtor.com told us. Arkansas is taking a 16% reverse course, and we're not even in official recession. Can you imagine if anybody thinks that these homes won't be half-price homes by the time this thing gets finished? I got news for you. It's probably going to be more than that. Some of these areas are, and I mean, everybody drank the Kool-Aid, and these builders piled in. Right now, it's a race against the clock. It's a game of musical chairs, and the music has clearly stopped playing. And final thoughts that come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy that wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. New builders, neighborhoods, America. Welcome to the swimming pool, the biggest artificially induced housing bubble with no organic growth, market manipulation. Couldn't sustain itself. No shock to me. I love real estate, own real estate. Took a hit in the last real estate downturn. One thing I know for sure is I don't want to repeat the same thing over and over expecting a different result. That's the definition of insanity. Just like the property we looked at today, I'm checking rent ranges no matter what because I know the path to wealth isn't by owning my house. It's by owning other people's houses. If I can get a property to pencil out my standard amount down, today's interest rate, I don't care what that rate is, it can stand on its own 2 feet as rental property. Those are the homes I'm looking at, and those are the homes I'll be showing my clients. But in the meantime, I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, biggest network, top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. God bless, and I'll see you on the next video.